Hi, readers! Welcome to Project Hail Mary. This is an exciting one. This is Ryland Grace. He wakes up alone in the void of space, his mind a fog, his body weak from years in a coma. He doesn't know his name. He doesn't know where he is. All he sees are two corpses, his crewmates, their faces frozen in eternal sleep. Alarms blare. The ship hums with artificial gravity. He stumbles through the lab, piecing together fragments. A spaceship called Hail Mary. A mission. Something about the sun. Panic rises. He experiments, tests gravity, checks computers. Memories trickle back like drops in zero-G. He is a scientist, a teacher, and the fate of Earth rests on his shoulders. This is no ordinary journey. This is humanity's last Hail Mary. Years ago, it all starts with a subtle flicker nobody wants to admit is real. Astronomers catch the sun dimming, just a tiny fraction at first, but it's enough to run the numbers and freak out. 1% drop means failing crops, longer winters, and projections that in a few decades will hit full Ice Age territory. Billions could die. The cause? Something called astrophage, tiny single-celled organisms that eat stellar energy with almost perfect efficiency, turning it into mass via some neutrino trick that breaks every physics rule we thought we knew. They breed on Venus, then hitch rides along these infrared Petrova lines, basically magnetic conveyor belts from infected stars to CO2-heavy planets. Earth's sun is now on the menu. Panic hits hard. Food riots, emergency stockpiles, governments scrambling. The UN hands absolute power to Eva Straat, this no-nonsense Dutch administrator who doesn't ask permission. She just makes things happen. She pulls every scientist she can, ignores red tape, and launches Project Hail Mary as humanity's last roll of the dice. Ryland Grace? He's a junior high science teacher who bailed on academia years back, after a paper claiming alien life was statistically impossible and got him roasted. Straat drags him in because of his old microbiology background. He cracks the astrophage puzzle. These things store energy as mass, reproduce using CO2 and heat, and basically turn stars into their personal farms. Telescopes spot a glimmer of hope. Tau Ceti, 12 light-years out, is infected too, but its brightness is holding steady. Something there beat the infection. The Hail Mary has to go find out what. The crew is led by Commander Yao, the calm, no-nonsense leader. Engineer Ilyukina, who's a bit loud but fixes anything, and the very meticulous, brilliant scientist Dubois. But Dubois and his backup get killed in a hydrogen explosion at Baikonur 9 days before launch. Straat doesn't hesitate. Grace gets drugged, kidnapped, and shoved aboard in his place. The ship runs on astrophage fuel itself. 4 years ship time, 13 back on Earth. It's a one-way trip. No coming home. In the present, Ryland Grace remembers his name, his purpose. The crew died from a coma gene flaw. He survived by chance. Alone, light years from home, he hurtles toward Tau Ceti. The ship is a marvel, but despair creeps in. He calculates. Success means saving Earth, but he's stranded. Suicide pills tempt him. Then, a blip. An alien ship, Blip A, using astrophage propulsion. Terror grips him. He hides the Hail Mary, observes. The alien approaches, not hostile. Rocky from Arid, one of the planets around 40 Eridani. Spider-shaped, 5 legs, totally blind. He sees and talks by sending out these musical chords that vibrate through his whole body like a living xylophone. His crew perished from radiation. He's been alone for Iridian decades. Arid faces the same plague. Star dimming, extinction looming. Rocky speaks in musical tones. Ryland Grace decodes, teaches English via frequencies. They dock, build a shared tunnel. Oxygen for Ryland Grace, ammonia for Rocky. Rocky marvels at water. Ryland Grace at xenonite. But the answer is waiting at Tau Ceti. They reach the system and head straight for Adrian, the Venus-like planet where astrophage breeds non-stop. Suited up, they take samples and find something incredible. Taumoeba, a tiny predator microbe that actually eats astrophage for lunch. Adrian's nitrogen atmosphere lets the little guys thrive and keep the infection under control. Hope hits fast. They plan to breed Taumoeba and send it home to fix both Earth and Arid. Problem is, it dies in pure CO2 environments like Venus or in Arid's ammonia mix. So they start running tests in the ship's lab, tweaking the microbe until it works. Then, everything goes wrong. Some Taumoeba escapes and starts eating the astrophage fuel right in the tanks. The Hail Mary is crippled, drifting with no power. Ryland panics, convinced he's going to die alone out here. But Rocky refuses to let him. The two of them team up. Rocky patches the ship with xenonite, and together they breed a tough new strain of Taumoeba that doesn't need nitrogen at all. Along the way, they get close. Rocky saves Ryland from a bad decompression leak. Ryland teaches him chess and plays music for him. They swap stories, too. Ryland remembers how far Strat went, breeding coma-resistant kids, whatever it took. And Rocky talks about his whole species pulling together in desperation. In the end, they pull it off. Nitrogen-resistant Taumoeba, ready to go. They load the beetles with the cure and launch them toward Earth. But Rocky's ship fails. Radiation rot. He can't return. Ryland faces the void. Send Rocky home with his fuel, or let his friend die. Memories flood, his cowardice on Earth, fleeing academia, now redeeming through sacrifice. He chooses. Transfers fuel, propels Rocky away. Alone again, Ryland farms astrophage for sustenance, orbits Tau, resigned to slow death. Years pass in isolation, teaching imaginary classes, staving off madness. What Ryland doesn't realize is the pull of connection. Ryland Grace detects a new ship. Iridians? No. His choice shifts. He follows Rocky to Arid using Taumoeba samples. Crash lands, deploys the cure. Iridians, grateful, build him a habitat. Gravity pod, food synthesizers. The journey peaks in sacrifice. Ryland arrives on Arid, plunging through ammonia clouds, alarms blaring under crushing gravity and blinding light. Disoriented, he deploys Taumoeba, watching it spread to save the star. Iridian engineers swarm, echolocating, grateful for the cure. Rocky and Ryland reunite. Iridians build Ryland habitat, sealed pod with earth air, synthesizers. He reflects on sacrifices, Strat's choices, the crew's deaths. Rocky keeps building, and finally, one day, tells him Earth's sun is back to full brightness. The Taumoeba worked. Earth made it. Ryland sits there, looking up at an alien sky, thinking about home, but not really aching for it the way he used to. He's got a purpose here, someone who needs him, a friend who crossed light years to share the load. They saved 2 worlds, not because of grand destiny or perfect plans, but because they refused to let the other one die alone. It's not a tidy, happily ever after. It's messy, improvised, full of radiation burns and jury-rigged life support, and a guy who used to run from responsibility, finally choosing to stay. But it's theirs. And that's enough.